Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is another episode of the Brutal Truth Buckeye Podcast featuring Angry Scott, Baby Driver Trey, and the casual fan we all know and love, Kris. With a K, Kris. Hey, Trey, how you doing?
Living the dream. What's up, fellas?
Doing good, guys. Thanks for joining. Happy Turkey Week, Thanksgiving, all that good stuff. Can't wait to eat Thursday, gain some weight.
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, Scott, jumping right into it. The Buckeyes, we'll let you lead here. Little scary game on Struggle Bus. Top 5 Saturday, man. Everybody struggled. You were one of them. Give us your thoughts.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's, outside of that Georgia impressive 10-point win over a piece of garbage Kentucky team, everyone struggled, man. Ohio State struggled.
Yep.
Michigan struggled. TCU struggled. Tennessee struggled big time. And ironically, I think everybody was playing at least a 3 or 4 loss team. But you get to this time of year and people don't want to hear it. But I was like, dude, one side has everything to lose, the other side has nothing to lose. And I remember watching Maryland's head coach when they went for 2. I even saw it. He was like, when they were going for 2 late in the game, he's like, nah, fuck it, get back out there. I mean, you got nothing to lose, man. So was it Loxley? Is that his name? So
yep.
Used to former Alabama. He was an Alabama assistant. So, I mean, the concerns I've had all year, I still seeing them, which brings us into, this next week against Michigan. CJ Stroud overall, man, he looked fine. He only threw for 1 touchdown, 241. But, what I've been saying this whole year, I mean, the receivers, man, we didn't get them involved enough, I don't think. But this banged up running back bunch, man, it's Mayan Williams didn't play. And Travion Henderson looked good on that first drive and then put the boot back on. Okay. And then, we're running out of running back. So Dallin Hayden,
who's this dude? Yeah.
From Memphis, 4 or 5-star guy or whatever. He had 146, but it's also, here's what everybody's forgetting. There's another kid.
Loaded,
so
man.
I live out of Charlotte, North Carolina, but he's out of Concord, which is north of Charlotte. Dude, I want to say his name is Pryor, his last name. He got hurt in preseason. He's a running back. So it's been a banged up bunch the whole time, but I still have my concerns with running the ball, with the offensive line. We finally got it going. Is that going to rear its ugly head? It was enough to beat Maryland at Maryland. Is that going to rear its ugly head against Michigan? Because then, the Big Ten West, like we talked about, that's a big bag of garbage. Who knows who's going to win that, man? But I think, unless it's complete letdown, whoever wins this game, Ohio State or Michigan, should go on to win the Big Ten championship, and then we'll see what happens in the playoffs. But, it continues to be, and I don't know, man, is it something that they're doing? Is it that turf? I've seen some other stories out there talking about, hey, everything should go back to grass. A quick story about Ohio Stadium. It used to be turf in the 80s, and then they went to a grass field, loved it. They, in the 90s, and then they had it to about 2006, 2007, and they went back to this fast track. So is that adding to the injuries? I don't know. They've had that fast track for a while, so maybe not. But it has been, it has been a banged up. The running back has been banged up all year. So, I mean, I kind of also question, what are we doing, man? We've seen this offensively. Jackson Smith and Jigba basically played a couple plays that first game against Notre Dame, and then they brought it back too soon against Toledo, and then they brought it back too soon against Iowa. Is he ever going to play again? Is he going to play this week? My guess is no. I hope right now, I would love to have him, but it's also you haven't gotten game reps since Iowa. Is he still a top 10 pick for what he did his first 2 years? If he doesn't play at all this season, I don't know. Maybe does he come back in the playoffs? I have no idea. Is Travion Henderson? I mean, I get it, man. They want to go when they want to play, but you're in a boot. It's you're only paying every couple of weeks with Mayan Williams. Are they just trying to keep him 100% healthy? So when he plays against Michigan, so that's a big concern. All that being said, Dallin Hayden, man, 27 carries, 146 yards is still pretty impressive. I'm still concerned because I don't think he's a freshman. I don't think he is what Travion Henderson was last year as a freshman. So those are concerns. Defensively, man, and the secondary it's frightened me all year. And we saw that, man. Talia, to his brother, was threw some bombs, and once again exposed our secondary. Not as bad as what Tennessee was exposed against South Carolina against Spencer Rattler, but still, I mean, it's reared its ugly head. It's been in the back. It was just going to be the game that was going to catch us. It didn't, but I mean, I kind of look at it that, look, man, we're down 13-10 at halftime. I think for Ohio State to go on and win a national championship, that they need to have adversity, and then they need to fight through that adversity. That's the years when I see them doing 2002 and 2014. I will say this, man, they came out, and after we were down 13-10, they scored 17 points, including a block punt there in the third. Kind of took control again, but then Maryland, man, it was down there to the end. It was a 3-point game, or was it a 6-point game with with 15 seconds left or whatever, and then they sacked Talia, and it's like, okay, hey, we won by 13, but dude, it was a lot closer.
Oh, that garbage time touchdown.
Yep, garbage touchdown. Tabaga Baga.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the concerns I've had all year are still there. So when we want to run the ball, can we actually run the ball? Maybe, but can we do that again? If we're not getting the push we want to against Maryland, can we do that against Michigan? We make it the playoffs. Can we do that? So, I mean, what are your thoughts, Kris?
The biggest thing that really kind of bugs me is this 17-point fourth quarter. Granted, it's Maryland. Granted, that you want to give respect to the opponent. All the good coach speak. They have been playing far more competitive than the old Maryland teams in the past. I think the year before when we played them, we kept it pretty close as well. But again, if you're a top 4 team, we're number 2, giving up 17 to Maryland, unranked Maryland in 4th. Not good. Doesn't give me good vibes. Doesn't give me good feelings at all. Scott, like you mentioned, the injury carousel at running back. I don't know. On a scale of 1 to 10, the frustration scale, when Henderson went back in or got off the field after the touchdown and went right back into that boot, how frustrated did you feel?
When Henderson went back in, I'm saying
when he put that boot back on, like as soon as he scored and you saw him limping, like how frustrated were you? I mean, I felt frustrated for him, but also the injury side of it. Like, just if a guy's hurt, leave him out, let him heal.
And let them heal earlier this year when we're paying bags of garbage, when we're playing the Toledos of the world, when you're playing, yes, even Iowa, don't bring them back until it's 100% healed. I understand they want to get back on the field, but still, otherwise we don't have them for Michigan or maybe the playoffs.
Exactly. So I know, granted, these are with Henderson, it's a foot injury. Did they ever say what it was? Is it like a Lisfranc or something, or did they even share?
I don't think Ryan Day doesn't usually share that he doesn't usually go and share that type of information. So
okay.
I don't think I ever got exactly what it was.
I never picked it up either, but with foot injuries, I've never, all my years of watching football, I've never seen or witnessed a fast healing foot injury. So granted, hats off to him for toughing it out, but this doesn't look super great unless he just takes a cortisone shot or something and toughs up for Michigan.
No.
I'll bet.
No, what I was gonna say here, I heard some stats though, Trey, that I wanted to pass by you. Okay, since 2019, since 2019 season, that was Ryan Day's first season. Number 1 scoring offense in the country, Ohio State. Number 1 total offense in the country, Ohio State. Number 1 offense yards per play. Number 1 rushing average offense in the country, and number 3 passing yards per attempt. So my question for you, Trey, is: don't you think that would make Ryan Day an offensive genius?
It does till they play top 10 or top 5 defense. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. So when we beat Clemson back in 2020 to make it to the national championship game, was that not?
That was impressive, yeah.
Okay. Because, he only has 4 losses, one of the Big Ten to Michigan last year. And then he lost to Oregon last year, lost to Alabama in the championship game in 2020, and 2019 it was to Clemson. So you know why I'm asking you if you thought he's an offensive genius. But look, man,
Because you said it last year.
there you go. You're a bright guy. I'm glad that you remember things.
Hey,
So
I'll bring up this real quick.
This.
Hang about 30 or 40 on these guys this weekend. I'll be impressed. They were number 1 until Georgia, I guess, held them to Kentucky to 6. So
we'll see who number 10 is there. Number 1 in your heart, but number 10 on the board, Ohio State. So
that is good. Better than last year. It's better defense. That's why I'm scared of you guys. You're more balanced team. But hang about 40 on these guys, 30 or 40. Yeah. Which you could be.
Here's what I'll say, man. The concerns that I've had all year, I continue to have. The running back, getting the run game with the offensive line, the secondary. It hasn't bitten us yet. Will it bite us next week? Will it bite us in the playoffs? If we make it to the playoffs, it might. But look, man, at this point in time of the year, I will take my ugly win and I'll move on down the road. Because you know what? Everyone else this weekend had an ugly win or they lost. So I'll take my ugly win and I'll move down the road. Now, as we get into the game, and I'm not talking about Georgia Tech, I'm talking about Ohio State and Michigan. Okay. Look, man, here's what I'll say. If Corum's out, and the reports that I've seen a report out there where they maybe that one of the kids maybe said, hey, we're just gonna do well without him. Is he setting a trap? Like any good boxer does. He's setting a trap to make you think he's not gonna play. If he's out, man, they're in trouble. If he's there, they want to try to have that. They want to try to have that. They want to dominate that run game. And I mean, I'd say their O-line's pretty good. Now, here's who I'm not concerned about. Their quarterback, JJ. He looks. I mean, look, man, I'll take CJ Stroud over JJ. That's what I'm saying.
Is he better than the kid from last year?
I don't know, man. Look, the quote unquote ceiling is higher, but I watched that Illinois game and he had a bunch of missed throws, man. And so I'm not concerned really about him or the wide receivers. Doesn't mean they can't come up with some plays. So if they don't have that run game, it's going to be very difficult then. Defensively, my biggest concern is in the trenches. Like I said, my biggest concern is in the trenches on both sides. But otherwise, man, I'm not. Look, it's going to be a big game. Hopefully, a bunch of the guys. Look, no excuses. But there definitely was the flu going around last year. But look, man, hey, they beat us. Now it's time we come back and we give them what's coming to them because we've been dominating for the last 20 fucking years, and so I'd love nothing more than giving them what's coming to them. So I do feel good about this game coming up on Saturday. I think we do have a lot of advantages, but I would love to have a healthy. And hey, man, if he's banged up, to welcome my fucking world. Okay, where all my running backs are banged up. So, I still feel good, man. I think Bucks win by 13. So if they win by 13,
7.5, huh?
I'm going to say 13-20 Buckeyes. But I mean, those are some of my concerns as we get into the game. I mean, Kris, what are your thoughts? Any other things to say about last week's game or your thoughts on this upcoming Michigan game?
Last week game, I mean, again, you already talked about Hayden, so I'm really looking forward to him in the future. Good way to step up. So again, a few Buckeye leaves for him on his helmet. Sure, ugly win, if that's what you want to call it, but we've had a few of these this season, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of tired of the ugly win trend. Right. So this is okay. Let's flush that out of our system. I hope this is the absolute last ugly win, especially against non-ranked teams. So it's time to flush it and move forward. So going into Michigan, though, like you said, I think we prepare for Corum regardless. Don't buy into any of the rat poison for you Bama fans out there. You can't buy into the rat. Don't fall for it.
That's right.
Prepare as if, and then if he jumps on the field or if he's not there, then cool. All right, we're that much better for it.
What are your concerns? Let me ask you this: what are your concerns? I mean, I think we got the best receivers in the country, Ohio State, and if not the best quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks. What are your concerns, offensive, defensively, for Ohio State?
Get out of our own head. I feel like last week we made a couple. I mean, Harrison, he's always there making a big play or two. But I don't know. It feels like Stroud he he's got beautiful throws, makes beautiful throws, but something still, I don't know if he's just like overthinking, but something still feels off. I feel like this should be way more fluid at this point of the year for him. The offense should be far more fluid, despite the running back injuries. The passing game, that should be far more fluid. He's had multiple games with Ibuka and Harrison as his alphas. Get Cade Stover involved. I think he's going to have a big role on Saturday, but make sure he's involved. Feed Cade. He's going to pay dividends, I think, this weekend. Regardless of who our running back is, I think get those guys going. But long story short, we win. It might be another ugly, tough win, but I'd say we won by 6.
Give us some picks, guys, for give you my non-bias. Your score.
I think we just did, man. We both said Bucks. We gave
score prediction.
Okay, well, like I said we were going to win by 13. I said 33-20. He said he's going to win by 6. So what's the score, Kris?
41-35. How about that?
Oh, wow. Shootout, huh? All right. You want to hear my non-biased thoughts here?
Sure.
I think this is going to – all right. So, first off, since you guys are well-read, you know who's actually playing and who's not? Any questions for you guys? I know you said that running backs are banged up on Ohio State.
It's a carousel. I hope it's going to be Williams. I really do, but it's between Williams and Hayden. That'd be my guess.
How about you, Scott? Who thinks gets majority of the carries?
Oh, I think Williams is your best running back. I think.
But is he going to play, or he had the boot, or like Lance Frank? When you say that, man, he's probably out.
No, right? No. He's talking. Henderson was the one who we think has had the foot problem. I think they're all going to dress, and I think mine will be your starter, and I think Dallin Hayden will get a lot of the backup carries. And I just don't think Travion, man. I don't think he's. I just don't think his foot is right, So at this point in time, dress him, have him as like a
decoy,
an emergency back, or hey, bring him in on a play or something. But I don't see how you get him out there. Now, this is the first time. The last Ohio State-Michigan game I was at was 2006, where they're both undefeated teams. Ohio State went on to win that game 42-39. And, hey, for all the gamblers out there was a pick 4 in Ohio, and it was 42-39. So keep that in mind if you're playing the lottery there. So I would play that score. We went on to win that game. That's the first time both teams have been undefeated going in. That was a 1-2. So I feel more concerned than what I was in 2006. However, man, the fact that we lost last year, that revenge game and everything, I feel good. I just think that mine will be out there. I hope he can make it through the home game. I'm not convinced he can. And then Dallin Hayden, how is he going to look against Michigan? I didn't have see any issues with ball security, but you have that you have that freshman. So how's he going to do? Hopefully he's got ball security. And then I think we've got to run the ball to open up the pass. We all know we want to pass the ball. But if we're just one dimensional, because I think outside of those guys, your emergency backup guy behind that is like Xavier Johnson, right? So he's kind of been like your he's kind of been a utility man this year. He's played a little bit wide receiver. He's turned some kicks. He might play some running back. So, I mean, I don't know, man. Who's going to be other backup besides that? Steele Chambers, who's a linebacker now, who came to Ohio State as a running back, and the room was filled up. So, they're going to bring him out. I don't know. CJ.
Dude, they toughen up. We'll get through the game with those two for sure.
I mean, CJ doesn't want to run the ball, and he's a passing quarterback, and that's fine. But just that threat that he used against Northwestern, that he might run it once or twice. Dude, I don't need you to run the ball 10 times. Okay, I don't need you to be Cam Newton. I don't need you to be Justin Fields running the ball all the time. I just want to have that threat that he could go and do that read and just take it 2 or 3 times. That's it. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it hurts Michigan more to not have Corum than what it would be for us to not have Trayvon Henderson. I wish we had everybody, but that's just not going to happen. Do you think, Kris, there's any chance that Jackson Smith and Jigba plays?
Dude, if taking me back to my old when I was a youth watching like the old school WWE, you're like minding your own business, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, like I don't know, Hulk Hogan makes a surprise visit. That's how I'd see this game happening with Jackson Smith. I like how they've handled it. He's been kind of a non-discussion topic, and that's how they should keep it until he's completely ready to play. And as they're managing his hamstring, but I doubt it. We might get him in if either we want to pour it on or if times get really rough, they'll dress him, and he'll come in as maybe a decoy. But I don't think he's gonna. I don't expect to see him. It'd be awesome, but however, at this point, the chemistry with again Harrison and Ibuka, it's pretty strong, and for him to come in at this time of year, it'd be awesome. But I don't see it.
Yeah, maybe in the playoffs. I don't know. Do you think he has enough tape out there to go and just enter into the draft next year?
He
just play his bowl game on repeat.
Yeah, I mean, he's got that to hang his hat on in Notre Dame, but I think he comes back if he really wants to get quality film out there and to really prove that he's a top, like a high first round pick, he comes back. But Scott, say that point again about establishing the run, because I know Ryan Day's listening, so please say it again.
Establish the run?
Yes.
Does that make you feel better when I say
set up that pass, dude?
Yeah, I mean, the other thing I'll say with Ryan Day is he doesn't really like to give injury updates, and I kind of actually like that approach of not giving injury updates, primarily because why tell the other team what they're gonna do? I mean, Michigan's not gonna tell us. I kind of think Corum's not gonna pay, or maybe they'll but you said, Kris, just prepare for it. So I mean, what are your thoughts? I'll tell you this: I think if CJ Stroud has a great game, I mean, he has more than 300 yards passing and he has more than 3 touchdowns, I think he wins the Heisman. What are your thoughts there, Trey?
Yeah, I think this is going to be, as I like to say, can I call them your friends from the north? Can I call them that?
No.
All right. Also, got to dig it in a little bit. So I know it's been a year, and this is a tough year for you guys. You had to hear about this. I know you hate them so bad and you dominated them. This is going to be, revenge game. It's at the shoe. Also, I wanted to add this. Everybody's asking who's not in the Big Ten. Why is this game at 12 o'clock? I know you do the whole Fox at 12.
Always, man, they always do.
This needs to be a 7:30 primetime game. Come on, man. 12.
Yes.
Here's the other thing, man. It's always at 12, and I know you don't know this, but it gets dark at 5 or 4:30 up there. So
they got
the other
lights.
thing is
Even better.
Part of the reason. Well, here's the other thing you didn't know. Not until recently. When I say recently, I'm talking maybe late 2000s. Did they actually have lights at Ohio Stadium? And somebody's like, no, that's not true. I've seen night games there. Dude, I've seen the damn generators outside, and they bring in lights to put them overhead. Now the lights are permanent, okay? So yes, they had night games, but they actually brought in the lights, so they were not at the stadium. So now they actually do have permanent lights. But look, man, it's cold, dude. I mean, part of the other bit is Big Ten, they didn't score very much. Yeah, it's pretty damn cold, okay? So that is part of the reason that they're having the game earlier. That's also part of the reason it's always at 12 noon. And for me, this is the one, man, I'm glad it's at 12. Usually I like those games where it's later. And I've always kind of said, what the hell is Fox doing the big noon? This is the one time I'm like, fuck yeah, big noon. Let's go. Is game day there as well? Game day's got to be there, right?
Should be, yeah. Biggest game of the year. Yeah, one of the biggest games of the year.
I got to think they're going to be there. So, does that answer your question?
That does. All right, I had to get that out. All right, so I think this is going to be in the trenches because last year they ran all over you guys, physical. I know it was a lot of weather. Just looking at the stats, rushing defense, they're number 2. They're number 2 in scoring defense. You guys are 15th, which is much improved. I think it's going to come down to if Corum plays. Who they got? Is it Edwards? Is Donovan Edwards? Who's got 400 yards rushing. if Corum doesn't play, that really is going to limit him. Like you said, the JJ McCarthy guy, I'm not really sold on him. I think he's more mobile than what's his name? Moderna? What's his name? Who was the guy from last year that played?
I
for
see
them?
his face, but I forget his name because he's forgettable.
Turd Ferguson or something. I don't know.
Was it
Damn.
McNamara or something? Was it
McNamara, that was
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Good memory.
Yeah, it was. I think it's going to be down in the trenches. I mean, this is going to be a legit defense you guys are playing. I mean, I know you beat Penn State, who's top 15. That was a good win. Close one with Notre Dame, who's definitely trending up. I think it depends on who Corum plays. I think if Corum plays, it's going to be really, really close. I'd say probably within like a touchdown, like the spread. But if he doesn't play, I think you guys comfortably, win. I think they're going to play physical with your receivers off there, but I think Stroud should be able to roll out and get some passes to get that going. You're going to have the crowd, which is an advantage. I think revenge, because I think you guys are salty after losing. So I think it depends on if Corum plays. If Corum plays, it's going to be close. If not,
All right, so give me
I think you guys
a score. Give me a score. I give you the score either way. Give me a score with Corum. Give me a score if Corum doesn't play. Trey.
Okay. I think without Corum, you guys, because they got a good defense, you guys win like 30, 31-14, 31-13, something like that comfortably. You cover. If Corum plays, because they're going to lean on him, I mean, his stats are crazy. 18 touchdowns, 457. I think you guys, it'll make it closer. You guys should win, but it'll be like, probably win like 28-24, closer like that, just because he's that much of a difference maker. And you guys, I think you guys could maybe even put, 8 in the box and try to make McCarthy beat you if Corum doesn't play with Edwards. And they're real limited. And they don't have explosive wide receivers from what I've read. And then the JJ guy, 14 touchdowns, too, kind of mobile, but doesn't really scare you too much,
Well, here Chris. I've got an important question for you.
Go
Chris,
for
you
it.
there?
I'm here.
When you're watching that game, okay, and you say, man, it's about 12:30, maybe 1, and you need a tasty beverage. What were you going to do to wet that whistle?
Dude, when I get all lathered up for this game, I'm going for the closest Viva tequila seltzer.
He
Right?
said lathered up. I like that.
Yeah, when I'm all
Viva.
lathered up, just fired up. So again, Viva Tequila Seltzer, proud sponsor, supporter of the podcast here. So again, get you some. Head on over to Viva Tequila or vivatequilaseltzer.com. There's a promo code to save. Trey, what's that promo code?
Yeah, promo for 20% off is hustle. To get 20% off in your cart there. You can get it right here on vivatequilaseltzer.com. My personal favorite is the elderberry.
I think there's another promo code this week that's but it's like a Michigan promo code. It's bitches, as in they're a bunch of bitches.
All right, guys.
And
just
just for this week, stay away from those blue cans too, guys.
There you go. All right, just let's think the worst here so I can troll on you guys. If you guys lose again to your friends from the north, how's that going to make you feel? Are they in your head? Are they in your head if you guys lose?
I'm going to answer that question.
At home, by the way. At home in the shoe.
No, let me go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and answer that question. Right? I'm just hoping that if we were to lose to them, because we've been dominating them for the last 20 years, you got to keep in mind, before last year, the last good Ohio State team they beat was 2003. They're like, we beat you in 2011. The year before Urban Meyer came, when Luke Fickell was the interim head coach, we lost by like 6 to a 7-loss Buckeye team. Congratulations, Michigan. So I would just hope that maybe we would get an opportunity to still get in the playoff like Georgia did last year after they lost to Alabama, and we'd get them back in the playoff. That's what I would hope. But I don't think we're going to lose. So I'm not even going down that road, because it's been 2 decades of dominance. It's been 2 decades of absolute dominance, and I believe we're going to go out there and take care of business on Saturday. What are your thoughts there, Chris?
Go the opposite. You can't rely on the last 2 decades of dominance, right? It's about what we're doing for tomorrow or for Saturday, right? Getting ready for Saturday. I still think we win. I still think we have the better group of guys out there. So don't even have to think about it.
That's great. What are you guys actually doing for the game? And was it you, Kris, that you have family members that are Michigan fans? Is that what it was? Did I forget
Yeah,
that?
actually, my dad's a Michigan fan, so
How you guys handle that on the other side of the house, or I don't want to talk to you.
no,
They
usually
don't
he
live
watches
together.
it
They
at
don't
home.
live together, Trey. Do you live with your
I know,
parents?
but they might be visiting for Thanksgiving. I don't know.
That is a good point. So they will be here for that Thanksgiving
All right.
weekend. So we'll watch it. I
Scott said
keep
they
it
don't live
civil.
together. I don't know why that's funny.
My roommate dad. No, but we'll watch it together. I'll keep it very simple, or keep it very civil. You know, so if we win, I just laugh and throw a beer at them, and if God forbid, if the score's the other way and they happen to have more points than we do, then they leave. I kick them out.
Chris, what I want to know is when your mom comes in, you say, when you watch the game, Ma, meatloaf.
No,
You
she's
scream that
sitting right
out,
with us. She's sitting right with us. So she's a diehard Buckeyes fan. So she'll be right there with us. Hey, Scott, real quick, I want to ask you, backtrack to our defense. Do you see anybody on the defensive side with the standout game Saturday? Do you think anybody's going to step up?
Even though, I mean, I see it's probably going to be somebody. Eichenberg has been probably the best defensive player all season. You know, man, he's just been all over the field. His brother plays already playing in the NFL. D-line, I see JTT stepping up.
Yeah, I was about to say, how about that dude that wreaked havoc in Penn State, man? He's all world that game.
I think Harrison. I think Harrison's going to have a big game. And I'll tell you what, man, secondary, even though secondary's been suspect, Denzel Burke, you know, and who's the other guy? Cam Brown. But I'll tell you what, man, who's actually come on and looked pretty good, blocked that punt on Saturday was Ransom.
Rocket Ronnie.
So, yeah, man, I think he could have a big game defensively. So I want a damn pick six is what I want. So I will have thirst for blood for that game, and I will fuel it, that thirst for blood with alcohol, perhaps a Viva tequila seltzer.
Dude, Scott, if we get a pick six, I just have this image that you will be foaming from the mouth. So just send me a selfie when that happens Saturday.
Absolutely. Well, any other thoughts on the games there, boys?
Yeah, I was going to say, any thoughts on the updated rankings? I know we touched that on the other podcast. Any thoughts? Or do we touch on that?
No, I mean, there's still football to be played. I will have a much better idea come 1 week from this Saturday. 1 week from this Saturday, I think I'll have a pretty good idea. You know, even though the rankings were a big Sunday, I think there might be it'll be like who the first two out. I think we'll have a pretty good idea who the first two out. I don't think there's going to be a lot of controversy. If there is controversy, it'll be like with a number 4 seed or something. So,
and if you guys win, who do you actually want to play real quick? I know we got LSU locked in. Who'd you want to play in the Big Ten championship?
Who do I want to play? Oh, in the Big Ten championship. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about playoffs.
Yeah. Anybody not want to play, or you pretty much it'll be an easy win?
And I don't know. You know, let's just see what team stumbles in there, and let's just not overlook them.
I got you.
Way to say it, Coach. I like it.
Well, I will say this. This has been another episode of the Brutal Truth Buckeye Podcast. Please like and subscribe. Or if you're a big breakfast fan, please like and subscribe your breakfast and or hash browns.
The Ohio State.
Right.
That's right, boys.
Get your Viva tequila and buckle up. It's going to be a game.
Exactly. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there.
Happy Thanksgiving, fellas.
Go Bucks.
Go Bucks.
Go Bucks.
See ya.
See ya.